Thank you. Before we throw it open for questions, I just want to make two other points that my colleagues have prompted me to think about. First of all, we got some information from the Treasury Department today, which you probably all got too, saying, well, wait a minute, we're not going to audit anybody who makes less than $400,000. I think they sent that out because they heard we were having this press conference. But that's all they did. They just said, well, we're not going to go after anybody who makes less than $400,000. Well, the Green Book, which lays out this proposal, in addition to the details you've already heard about, says very specifically that the Secretary, meaning the Secretary of Treasury, will be given broad authority to issue regulations necessary to implement this proposal, which says that the IRS will be given broad rulemaking authority to get the data it wants. Now, the IRS, in the very thing they sent out today, trying to say, well, we aren't going to go after anybody who makes less than $400,000, also said, you know, we already have the paycheck information on folks, and we already have the interest income information on folks, but we need the rest. That's the point of all this. Why did they start out at $600? That's not to get the wealthy. That's to get everybody. It's to create a total dragnet. And I just want to conclude with the data that Senator Thune referenced generally. We asked Joint Tax to look at this and tell us what the distributional effect of raising all these hundreds of billions of dollars that this proposal proposes to do is. And Joint Tax said, you know, they haven't even put out enough details for us to give you a specific answer, but if you look at the tax code and see where it is that there is the available money that's not being reported, it's primarily in Schedule C and Schedule E. That picks up all small businesses, all individuals, everybody. And so they said, we will analyze the tax gap in Schedules C and E and tell you where it looks like the lost revenue is to be found. And when they did that, they found that it was mostly in those making less than $500,000. Over 50% of it is those making less than $50,000. Another 21%, I got to get my glasses out here. Another 21% is those making between $50,000 and $100,000. Another 12% is those making between $100,000 and $2,000, and another 6% is those making $200,000 to $500,000. And when you get to those making $500,000, not $400,000, but $500,000 or more, that only accounts for 4% to 9% of the expected recoveries that can come from analyzing these schedules. So I don't know what the IRS is trying to say here, but you know, if they are really not going to go after those who make less than $400,000, then why don't they, instead of saying, well, we'll raise the limit to $1,000 for everybody, why don't they just put a ban in there that bans the IRS from snooping in the accounts of people who make less than $400,000? That's a question I think that should be asked of the sponsors of this approach. Anyway, with that, I've talked through all my. I got another colleague here. You can. We got another one, Kennedy. So you guys can help me answer questions if there are questions. Yes.
I have two questions. The first is, thank you for doing this. The first question is, do Republicans believe that the tax gap is a problem? And how would you propose then ensuring that the wealthy pay the taxes that they owe? And the second question is, if they were to put that ban in the rule, would you then support it?
I wouldn't support this bill if they put that ban in there, because this bill is it still gives the IRS the authority to go in and snoop in every single account of anybody who makes any more than $10,000 worth of transactions, which, as I indicated in my first remarks, is the average American family has $61,000 of transactions a year. It's going to cover everybody. Every single solitary small business that you can think of has more than 100,000, probably as much as 1 million or more of transactions, even though the net revenue is going to be rather small. Now, with regard to the tax gap, I can only speak for myself. I believe there is a tax gap. I don't believe it's what they're saying it is. I believe that what they are saying it is might be trying to pull in those who are not paying as much in taxes as they would like to see them pay, but who are legally following the tax code. So there's all kinds of discussion about that. But there are things that we could do to address the tax gap. I don't think creating this dragnet is the way to approach it.